What are three key things that we need to think about when selling managed services? How does their network drive revenue? So I want you all to think about that for a minute. It can be multiple layers of that infrastructure. So obviously we know that the server probably manages some critical line of business apps, or maybe some of those critical line of business apps are in the cloud. That's okay. It doesn't mean that we don't have services around it. So we can have the conversation, for instance, if they use a CRM that's hosted locally or in the cloud, and we can say that I will ensure optimum uptime of that CRM. Well, yes, and I hope that you do, and I know that you will. But the benefit to the business owner is that if I maintain that, then your salespeople remain as productive as possible or have enhanced productivity because of the management that I'm doing. As a result, they could be driving more revenue into the business. That is a value that a business owner will have that discussion with you every day. Showing them the cost of an outage is greater than the remediation bill. This really plays to people who aren't on a contract-based service today. So business owners believe that when they have an outage and they call for help, the bill that they receive is the total cost of that downtime issue. But there's soft and hard dollar costs that come with a network outage. And I'll show you some of those today with a simple email outage and a quick ROI that you can do with a business owner that will really allow them to understand what the real cost to their organization is. And then being proactive saves costs versus waiting for issues. I'm going to give an analogy I use all of the time. This is the analogy that I do with service providers and that I do when I'm even talking to end users. If you wait for an issue to occur and you wait for something to break, it's what I call the fire started. And what that means is that a business owner incurs three costs. They incur fire damage, water damage, and smoke damage. Because you had to put all of those issues together and you had to put out the fire, and as a result, the water caused some issues and then the smoke caused some issues, and now we have a whole bunch of cleanup to do, so we have a higher level of cost. Now, what if you had just put a smoke detector in place? And we were able to get to that earlier and eliminate that breakage and that outage because we were proactively managing the environment. Yes, I'm paying on a monthly basis, but 12, 16, 18, 24 months of payments could be less than one major outage. So it's hedging your bets against it. And really the concept to a business owner is that they may not feel that they've ever had an issue to date, and I hear that objection all the time, but they're probably just waiting for it to occur. And if you haven't had an issue to date or they've been minor, it's only a matter of time before the big one happens. And when the big one happens is when we can have, a multi-day event where we lose productivity, we lose revenue, and the cost of the business is massive. So what we want to do is we want to focus the sale on the end user experience. It's not about the core infrastructure, but it's how do their employees interact with technology? Why do they use it? Which departments have the heaviest reliance on technology? And as a result, what does that mean? How much revenue do they generate per hour? Most business owners will know their revenue per hour of an employee. So then we can start to align those business requirements to the technical infrastructure. And now we're having a better conversation on that revenue level. So ROI always falls in line with productivity and revenue per employee. And what I mean by that is it's all around the human resource cost of that person sitting in front of a machine. What part of the infrastructure affects them doesn't really matter. The fact is that HR cost has a return on it in revenue for the work that the employee is doing. If the employee can't work, I just carry a flatline HR cost and I'm not generating any benefit off of it. So why do we talk about the human resource cost? Well, when you look at some of the top MSPs in the world, they do this because it's a business value, it's a business discussion. But the second side is that typically in every business, the number one cost is payroll. It's human capital. And the second biggest cost is technology. So as a result, the two intermingle extremely well to have that discussion with a business owner about why they interrelate. But we want to front end it with the business discussion.